Some car going off out there. Um, I was rewatching my live, and I was saying we're conditioned to believe that sacrifice. I mean, sorry, we're conditioned to believe that suffering is the baseline for being honored, being honorable, and that's how they get you to pimp yourself out because it's this. That's sorry. That's one of the ways, especially when it comes to men, and this energy of know your worth and the oh, I know my worth, I know my value, or even closely intertwining the value or the concept of abundance or that earthly grounded energy with currency is intertwined with suffering, but it's not just suffering, it's sacrifice. Because if I can get you to believe it's honorable to sacrifice, that's one of the ways, one of the avenues, right, that we get people to go down that path of pimping themselves out. Whether it's women saying, well, I'm going to date this guy because he has money and I'm going to choose to see that as valuable and ignore the other forms of value that exist because sacrifice is normalized. Existing in a certain sense of fulfillment is unrealistic, but somehow it's ultra realistic to dedicate everything to this one thing and somehow still feel happy at the end when you finally get it. I don't know, like it's exhausting, it's tiring, and while it can be done, and maybe it works for some people, I don't think that it's appropriate or right or fair to market it as the only way. And I think I got kind of off track, but I was saying if I can get you to believe that sacrifice is a necessary component to achievement or being a decent person, I can condition you to start to relinquish certain levels of boundaries, uh, maybe eventually the entire sense of fulfillment. You don't have to just pursue one thing at a time, but if you're constantly in a rush to get to a certain point because your idea, your concept of value has been set, has been conditioned to be set on currency, you're going to. You're going to. Um, and you're not going to have time to focus on the lack of fulfillment that you feel because you believe that it's going to come once you reach this point. It's the same thing that they do with heaven. Like, it's okay, like, suffer here on earth. One day you're not going to have to suffer anymore because you're going to have this when you die. It was a way to condition people to allow this one group to have complete control and keep you submissive because one day you're going to have what you want. And it makes people so afraid of existing in fulfillment in any moment because if they're not giving 100%, if they're not sacrificing everything, if they're not feeling those effects of suffering, they don't feel like they're doing enough. They might not know how to feel happy. So you have women who are willing to sacrifice a loving connection if it comes with a man who has money. You have men who are willing to sacrifice a loving connection if they can pursue their goals, instead of people who say, well, I kind of want to experience all of those things, and it might take me a little bit longer, but I want to be existing in fulfillment. And that's okay for me. But maybe, like, this is not the case for everybody. Maybe you feel like, I'm comfortable not having these things. But I would just caution people to make sure that those are their beliefs and not the beliefs that you were fed about what happiness is supposed to look like or what love is supposed to look like.